But yeah, so I would recommend wearing headphones for these because I'm wearing them as I'm recording them, and I'm probably too quiet if you just play it on regular speakers. I think, I'm going to accept that. Like, there's just way too much shit on just YouTube, especially. But on the internet, it's just, there is this massive overconsumption or just what is the word? Overabundance. It's like there's just too much shit. So, I can't think of the word right now specifically, but it's not, I can't compete with everybody. I'm not going to be Mr. Beast or whatever. I've accepted that. I've made peace with the fact that whatever this individual thing is, my channel's just going to be this cult kind of thing. If I'm lucky, it's going to get a cult following. It's going to be niche. It's not going to rope in a bunch of people. I don't record myself. I don't have video of myself. My audio probably isn't even great. So the point is that you should, if you're going to listen to this, if you're going to get into it, then get your headphones on right away, because it's going to be like this probably for the rest of the run. Probably going to try to do 100 episodes. It's going to be this low effort thing just to get myself back into the swing of being creative, because I need to do that. Like I'm just one of these people. Like if I don't create, I want to kill myself. And it's like all of my other whatever neuroses, all my other problems, they stem directly from the fact that I don't. For me particularly, they stem directly from the fact that I don't read enough and I don't write enough, because that's what I like doing the most. I want to be a writer for some reason. In the year 2024, I'm pretentious and stubborn and delusional enough to want to be a professional, like, novelist or something, like something that's completely dead. The peak of the novel, the height of the novel, was a direct result of the fact that, it was just, it happened to, everything fell in place. The 1800s, that was like the golden time for literature, and it was because technology was in the right place for it, and the issues that were going on at the time, the Industrial Revolution and all that, it created this kind of this existential crisis in a lot of people that made that appealing. And you don't have those same circumstances anymore. Everyone's just too overstimulated to sit down and read. Like, that's, they're just, why bother doing that? Why, give why dedicate your time and energy and efforts into, something that requires that much patience and commitment, when you could just, look at fucking brain rot on TikTok or Instagram Reels, or you could do anything else. You could play a video game. You could listen to a podcast. It's like you can kind of. That's what I mean. I'm guilty as charged when it comes to that. I try to be this, like, pretentious, pseudo intellectual. But what do I do at the end of the day? I listen to a bunch of podcasts, and just feel good about myself. It's like that's not substantive though. That's not real. That doesn't count. If you want to say that you're a writer, you actually have to do a little bit of writing. If you want to be a writer, if you want to be an intellectual, you actually have to pick up a book or two and read it. And it has to be a good book, not some fucking garbage. I mean, even my literary taste has gotten weird. I mean, I've been reading NYRB classics, and they're all none of them are classics. They're all just like, they're all random shit. They're all like that. They're all like the pre-internet version of, like, internet content, basically. It's the best way for me to describe it. It's a bunch of like literary edgelords. It's like, is that really much better? Do you want to be like the fucking, I don't know, do you want to be like the cool, I don't know, overgrown teenager, but you're like Hemingway, so it's okay. If you have Hemingway's money, then yes, but you won't, because again, the set of circumstances, the way the world was at the time when he became it's like he went through wars and everything, and he wrote about them. It's like, you're not going to get that same experience. So, you know, don't even try to compare yourself to him. Maybe I mean, I don't know, maybe it works for some people. Maybe it is just a conventional enough way to motivate yourself to just like copy all the kind of most basic people possible. I think the most successful way to make it as a writer, I think, would be to honestly copy like J.K. Rowling, or something, and just write something really entertaining that appeals to a lot of people and is marketable. Just go for that, like make your first book something that's just as like normie slop as possible, so that you can get yourself there. That gets your foot in the door, and then you suck it up, and you be one of those people who like hates what they do, hates what they're famous for, you're too good for your own thing, and then you write your stupid, I don't know, you write your edgelord shit after, then you write your dumb book about you basically. Then you get all narcissistic after, but after the fact. But I have a lot. I have a decent amount of like. I have actually an idea for a book like that, or a series like that even that could work. I have a whole franchise in my head, but I just don't want to tell anybody about it because I'm self-important enough to assume that that someone would steal it if I gave away too much of it. So I don't even like writing online. If I write it, I'm probably going to write it physically and then maybe transcribe it into some kind of like I'd have to find something because I'm like super paranoid about my shit getting stolen. That's why it's like actually kind of the second biggest reason why I don't write. The first, of course, being that I'm a lazy fuck. But yeah, all of this to say. I'm going to drop my little Fight Club review now with the 10 minutes we have left in this particular session. Or 15, whatever. 16 now. Or 14 now, rather. Can't do math, like I said. Just won't do math. Just won't do it. Yeah. I haven't been studying hard enough. As a college student, as a 24-year-old senior in college who still has 2 semesters to go, so it really doesn't mean anything. I'm basically doomed. I have to live in the dorms. I don't have a car. I want to kill myself, but not really in Minecraft. But yeah, not great. Not a great set of circumstances to not a great place to be in life. It makes me miserable. Oh man, I really gotta do something about it. I gotta like work out every day or something. I was dieting and exercising the first week I got here, first week of this semester, spring semester, and then I just couldn't commit. I just dropped off. But if I did that, I'd probably feel a lot better. But that's like the only thing that's gonna save me at this point from the misery that I find myself in. That it's all self-created, of course, because I took 2.5 years off and literally did nothing. That's where I really perfected my lazy motherfucker, my lazy homebody persona, I guess, or just like that's like the thing I'm best at. That's what I specialize in. That's my speciality, as they say. But yeah, I watched Fight Club last night or 2 nights ago for the first time. One of those seminal movies. One of those bucket list type things. You gotta watch it. You gotta essential viewing. It's just culturally significant enough to where it's like even if you don't give 2 shits about it, you still gotta watch it. You still gotta give a shit. It's like if you have any self-respect or whatever, if you want to not be ignorant, if you want to be a part of the ever disappearing, fading, popular pop culture, especially of the American variety, then you want that. There is no mainstream culture really anymore. Everything's segmented. The internet's not a great substitute for good movies, good television, good theater, good music. All that shit's kind of dead. All of them have become politicized, and now the nepo babies run them all, so they're super niche and again adolescent and kind of angry and and nihilistic, I would say, deconstructionist to the point, deconstructive to the point where it's like scary, where it's like, oh, they really don't believe in anything and they want to like watch everything burn because that's like the late stage capitalism. That's like the end of empire vibe that everyone is feeling or whatever, that everyone wants. Like they want to just watch everything go to shit because they've either given up so much personally, or what's worse is it really is like that, and we're just fucked and they know it. I tend to think that people are just kind of in a bad mood. I tend to think that, unfortunately, the internet's just made it so that everyone's a little, social media, they've made it to where normal people, the average person is now a little mentally ill, and then crazy people are championed as heroes now. That's the thing. And maybe they always have been, because, actors have always been fucking narcissists. Musicians have always been batshit, It's not like any of that's necessarily changed, but it's like the convenience of it, the instant gratification shit, the dopamine rushes. It's made it a lot worse. It's everything's over the top now. Regular life now is kind of an exaggeration of what it used to be. Everything's kind of a joke. Everything's an over bloated, spoof of itself, and it's no good. It's really kind of hard to deal with. It makes it so that you don't care about things like, I don't know. Like how can you think about your GPA when the world is so fucked? I don't know. You know what I mean? Not for me personally, because I do know that parent, my parents listen to this. They're subscribed anyway, I think. So I got to be careful what I say. I don't want them to get the wrong impression. I don't want my what is it, like tiger mother? God, I don't want my tiger mommy to get upset and lecture me about grades, getting the wrong idea. My grades are actually okay, and I'm not just saying that. They're A's. They're typical one of these pricks who has to get straight A's all the time. But not to brag, but anyway, we're talking about a movie. We're supposed to be doing a movie review, Fight Club. I didn't really like it that much. I thought it was, I liked it enough, but I didn't realize, okay, this is weird. I didn't realize that it was a comedy or like a satire. I thought it's a lot like Trainspotting. It's actually funnier, it's actually more lighter hearted than Trainspotting, but I thought it was like an action movie. I thought it was more like The Matrix. I thought it was like that. And it is like that. I mean, it has the same kind of green color tinting, whatever. It has that kind of, it has the stylistic similarities. It has, it has stylistic similarities. It definitely has thematic similarities. But it, because they're both those, it's that meme of like Gen X office worker movies where they hate that they have to sit in their cubicle. They hate that they're whatever, the whole meme. They hate that they work a steady job with benefits and everything. But they're all criticisms of the soullessness of corporate America and all that, and capitalism. And Fight Club was a lot like that. I think Patrice O'Neill from Opie and Anthony, a podcast I actually really am like a hardcore fan of, not just YouTube clips of. I've actually religiously listened to every episode from 1990, because I am a loser, from 1994. I've listened to every episode I could possibly find from 1994 to 2005. I'm on right now. I'm almost done with 2005. Each episode's like 3 to 4 hours long, and I've listened to all of them, like the whole way through, from that time period anyway. And I've listened to episodes from every year, but that's that's one of my things. That's my jam. I love that shit. Genuinely one of my favorite pieces of media of all time, even if it is kind of stupid. I think they are the kings of lowbrow, and there is a lot of value to lowbrow media, lowbrow art. There can be, and I think that they prove that. But you gotta know that going in, and you gotta have a certain mindset. It's not for everybody. But it is something I think everyone should listen to. But that's just me. That's just my soapbox. I have this theory. I think the world would be a much better place if all those like crazy cat ladies, if every liberal wine aunt listened to Opie and Anthony, just a few episodes, I think they would. It would the extremeness of it would balance it out so much. It would balance them out to the point where they would be it would make them moderate. It wouldn't even make them conservative or whatever. It would just make them moderate. I think that's important. Same as I think every and again, but this equivocation shit doesn't work. That's why people are sick of wokeness and everything. That's why they're sick of liberalism and democratic, the Democratic Party and everything, because that equivocation of like saying, okay, well then I also want a bunch of fucking KKK members or whatever to watch like, I don't know, an all black podcast or something. I want yuppies to, yuppies who don't even really exist anymore now. It's just, I guess they do, but I want the guys. It's like saying I want the guys on Wall Street to listen to a queer black, Marxist podcast. It's like it doesn't really work both ways. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I will say I think every normie should also listen to it though. I think the world would be a much better place if fucking boring fucking normie vanilla fucks could learn how to laugh at themselves a little more and have a better sense of humor and stuff. I think that would help too. Because I think a lot of things that are supposedly taboo, I think people are just sensitive little pussies, I think that a lot of things that are considered taboo were not considered that 20, 30 years ago. And it's a kind of a thing, it's a thing where we're not talking about Fight Club in this episode. I'm going to have to do it in the third one. Third time's a charm, right? But I want to specifically upload my review of Fight Club, and I'm going to do a review of Breakfast Club too, because I just watched them both last night. But I'm going to make those the next. Those need to be their own little snippets. I can't just I can't do it now. I've ruined this one. So this one's probably going to be the worst of the maybe 5 or 6 that I record in this session. So we're figuring it out one day at a time. I've gone back and I've listened to like the early episodes of other podcasts, famous podcasts. Like I don't even know if I can say the, you know, like Coomtown. I'm just gonna say I don't like having to censor myself. I don't know. We're figuring out like the lay of the land here. But Coomtown, um, and the Tim Dillon show. It's like Rogan. I've gone back. I've listened to all their early stuff, and it's like, yeah, it usually takes. The thing you got to accept if you're going to do something like this, let's just say podcasting in particular. If you're going to do podcasting, the first year of episodes is going to be bad. It's like everyone just like that's the thing about being creative. It's like you have like a bad year to get through. Everyone starts out like awkward. It's always the same for everybody. You're not unique. You know, everyone's uncomfortable doing it. It's not natural. You gotta. It's a learned thing. It's a learned process. Even if you have talent, you know, or whatever. Even if you have talent or intelligence, or you know, or if you're just insecure enough to, you know, if you have the low enough self-esteem or sense of self-worth or whatever to need that validation. It's like whatever neurosis you have, whatever it is that drives you to make art, whatever drives you to be creative and put yourself out there and express yourself in some kind of like, you know, I don't know, public way or whatever. It's like you have to get that first bad year out. You know, everyone it's like a year's worth of garbage, if not more. And it could also depend on where you're at in your life too. It's like maybe for me, if I'm 24 years old, it's like I you know, forget about being good until you're in your 30s or whatever. You know, maybe that's how it is. Maybe it's like maybe at least 27. You got to be 27 to actually have something halfway intelligent or halfway, you know, worthwhile to contribute. You know, maybe you do. Maybe it's all just bullshit until then. But you know, I'm glad I have the rest of my life ahead of me. Hopefully, I mean, fuck. I don't want to. I don't want to get neurotic about, you know, I don't want to get like death anxiety too or whatever, but like shit. Yeah, I do look forward to the future. At least my personal future. I don't to specify, to clarify. I don't look forward to the overall future, the political, socio-economic, whatever future of this you know, of this country and the world. I don't look forward to that at all. But I do look forward to my own life, you know. And I do know that you know, a lot of this negativity, it's the doom scrolling mindset. It comes from being on the internet too much. It comes from the sensationalization of everything. It's like news sensationalizes shit. So why wouldn't social media? Why wouldn't, you know, internet culture? Why wouldn't everything? Why wouldn't the news double down too? It gets them attention. That's how they sway elections. They prey on weak-minded people who, you know, can be conditioned. And they that's what it is. You know, the internet and social media are really, they really are just one giant propaganda machine. Not to get too schizo, but it's just true. I mean, it's straight up, you know, it's like anything else. It's like all the unhealthy food that, you know, that one guy, RFK Jr., he's trying to get them, I don't know, I'm not going to try to do comedy. I'm not going to try to do characters and everything, voices and shit, but yeah. If this ever is a comedy podcast, it will be incidentally funny. The humor will be a byproduct of whatever it is I'm talking about. But I'm literally just going to talk. And if you know, so if you like that, then listen. And if you don't, then don't. But you know, that's the niche that I'm trying to fill. Is basically just me hearing myself talk. So buckle in or head out. Yeah. Got 1 minute left on this recording snippet. But all of this to say, if I even have a point somewhere in there, all of this to say that our perception of things is a lot worse than the reality. And there is that meme. It ties into that whole meme of not wanting to be like going outside and touching grass, and like that whole thing of people have said it before. I've heard, you know, podcasters talk about it where, you know, the news is super negative and then you go outside and the sun is shining and the birds are chirping and, you know, everything's fine. You know, and even if it's not fine, it's like the reality. It's like don't give in to that whole over-exaggerated perception of things that twisted, negative view of the world. It's like the world has its problems, but there's something comforting about just being in the real world. Like, go outside. I basically just fucking don't let that shit get you down too much, because it's probably not even real. Let's be honest. It's over exaggerated, and it's designed to demoralize you, and it's designed to make you as miserable as possible, so that you vote for whoever, you know, whoever convinces you that you need them more. But they're all equally scummy. So just don't forget that.